I'm Paul Coulthard, and I'm delighted to talk to you about my thoughts on leadership. So, leadership is something that comes not at the start of a career in clinical dentistry, but later. And it's a great opportunity to influence and to develop those around you and the institute that you're taking forward. It's about getting the best out of everybody. Um, I'm a clinician at heart and I enjoy treating patients, but I knew I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to teach and then found that through that I could influence more patient care and through research in an even bigger way. So I started to learn that I wanted to have a greater influence and I wanted to lead rather than follow. I found that I liked making decisions and I thought I was getting better at it, and I wanted to continue to do that. But initially, the first part of my career was all around honing skills, developing knowledge, acquiring the credibility for later, although I didn't realize I was doing that. I did it because that's what my career was about. My PhD was in basic science and laboratory-based neuroscience. But I then undertook health services research and clinical trials, learned how to write systematic reviews, get involved in guideline development. And so that was a whole breadth of research methodologies that was just natural at the time, but looking back was really quite useful in terms of understanding how other people around me now work. And I can appreciate what they do in all those different areas, having done it. So leadership is around leading by example. I enjoyed very much teaching undergraduates and did that very early on. I also got involved in leading postgraduate education and loved that too. Passionate about social responsibility and how all these things could come together for the greater good. But again, that developed slowly over time. The first stages were all around just developing those skills to do the jobs that are required of the career. I was working in the National Health Service and learned a lot about NHS leadership, which was invaluable. And also, I think to operate at the sort of level I do now, you need to understand quite a lot about the context. So I need to understand higher education generally, what the research assessment framework is all about, what the Office for Students is, how our regulator works, the expectations, and health education in England, the change in NHS landscape and commissioning. All of these things are important to understand so that you can lead. Fundamentally, I guess I wanted to make a difference, and probably most of you do too. And certainly for clinicians entering their career, this is a fundamental question at entry. But I found that increasingly throughout my career, I wanted to take opportunities to give me even better opportunity to make a difference. So I think a big principle that I should share with you is around developing strategy. You need to know where you're going if you're leading. You need to have a journey to take people on. You need to know what you're going to accomplish. You need to know whether things can be measured, in which case then they should be celebrated. It's really important to celebrate success on the way to take people with you. So in this current post, I was very clear at my interview about what the mission was, what the challenges were, what my role would be in leading, what there was to do around education and student experience, what there was to do around research, what there was to do about reputational management, so the great work going on here could be shared for those outside and beyond around the world. But it's not just about developing the strategy by yourself in your head. You have to listen to those around you, which is another great principle of leading. So you need to have a good team of those who you can trust and those who are knowledgeable, who can give you, when I say trust, give you honest advice, that they're not going to just tell you what they think you need to hear. They need to be honest, and you need to accept that. You need to understand what is happening in your in your environment. And then beyond that, you need to talk to many more people. Certainly for my last, for this post, for my last big interview, I spoke to the guy who runs the university, the vice principal, but I also spoke to, the principal and to the vice principals, but I also spoke to the support staff, the academics, the clinicians. I spoke to the porter. It's important to speak to as many people as you can to get a feel for the culture and what is really going on, so that you can understand what you need to do, what the challenges might be. You need to plan then how to manage them and understand what the enablers are going to be. It may be important to promote distinctiveness. It may be important to understand what your messaging is going to be, so that you can be clear about the branding, the marketing, so that you can tell the world what great stuff is going on. There's no point doing great research if it's not going to change things. So you're likely, as I am, to be in an environment where you have got great people. In my case, both teachers and researchers and more. And you need to be able to support all of those and develop them and encourage, I think, importantly, collaborative working. I think it's really important that people don't work in isolation and that they work together, and that your role can be around connecting people with others, either inside the institution or beyond, across institute or across institutions around the world. Fundamentally, you have to be quite driven to know where you're going. You have to have that clear vision, and you have to have enthusiasm and the passion to take it forward. So people need to believe in you, and you have to be honest. This is not something you make up. You have to be completely transparent and clear with people so that they can see that we are going to get there. You have to be fair. It's really important, another big principle, it's really important that you have a positive environment, a collegiate environment. You have to make sure that the culture is one of equality and fairness. You want people to be happy in the workplace. Nothing will be effective if people are not content and happy. So there may be cultural change that has to be delivered by making sure that there is no issues of inequality, and that they see that you are a fair and supportive person, so that they know that they can trust you and that you can lead them forward in terms of culture. So my advice would be, in conclusion, surround yourself with the best people. It's always important to appoint the very best people you can. Appoint people around you who are better than you are, so that you can learn from them and you can all share and move things forward. Listen to them, and then don't be distracted by what is going on around you. Develop your clear path forward, your clear strategy and vision, and then take people with you on that journey. At the end of the day, I'd finally say it's a privilege to learn, to lead, and to not take that seriously. It's a privilege, but it's a responsibility. But it's a great way to make a difference. Thank you.